Get the cake right to the side sex. Leave the fire and the roof stars stuff. I'm on the grind up, we're chasing the stars. For mil more to do, finally we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. For mil more to do.
Good evening and welcome to KB Terrace Talk Sunday night show, Turbo Talk. I'm joined today by Dan, and we're going to talk about a number of topics this evening. This is a new Sunday show, and please bear with us as, like I say, this is new, so we could have a few teething problems. Once again, this is a live show, so if anybody wants to come on the show and wants to give their voice, their opinions about anything, I'm just going to pop the link up here now, so you can see exactly what the link is, and if you want to come and join us. So, first of all, my co-host Dan, how are you, pal?
I'm very good, mate. Enjoyed a little bit of FA Cup weekend. Not going to lie, I'm looking forward to getting back to the league stuff, but you've got to enjoy the magic of the cup a little bit, haven't you?
Absolutely. So the FA Cup, it's a cup that my particular team, Rotherham United, notoriously don't do very well in. We've never been past the third round since God knows when. I think last time was maybe when we beat Southampton 2-1 at Millmoor all those years ago. So our first talking point tonight, and if anybody wants to join us, please, like I say, follow the link. Come on, and you'll be in like a waiting room, and we'll bring you on, and you can have a chat. This is a live show, guys, so listen, please come on, give your thoughts, give your opinions on literally anything football. So I've got a couple of comments coming in already. I've got Glory Hole, George. Yes, lads. Don't know what he's saying yes about, but thank you, George. And good evening, gentlemen, from Paddy Irish. So that's
good evening, Paddy.
Irish Paddy. So anyway, let's go through some of the FA Cup results from this weekend. So starting on Friday, we had Hull City 0, Chelsea 4, and Hollywood FC, aka Wrexham 1, Ipswich 0. So we'll start with that one then. So I've only seen the highlights of Chelsea and Hull, but it looked like Chelsea did an absolute job on them, Dan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you get to this stage of the competition where you're still having your top Premier League sides draw against, no disrespect to Hull, but weaker competition. And I think Chelsea look quite settled under a senior. I think we've seen the ceiling. They can't go and beat Arsenal. But other than that, I think he's just about got everything else right. And it was a pretty clinical performance for them. I don't think it was headline grabbing in any way, but they went out and did what you would expect a side like Chelsea to do.
So Pedro Neto netted a hat-trick in that game, which is promising for Chelsea going forward in their top four hopes in the Premier League. Dan, do you think Chelsea can make that top four this season?
It's all right. We've got top four. So I'm just thinking. So it's Arsenal, City. I think Villa. I'm still uncertain on if they're going to be more consistent than Man United with Michael Carrick. I haven't seen enough of Rosenior or Carrick to figure out. I think they're both in the running for it. Obviously, Liverpool's looked a little bit better in the last couple of performances as well.
Aye.
I'm still. The jury's out. They've got a great chance. But I'm still not sure where Rosenior's at, where Carrick's at. I think it's going to be a great race for Europe coming to the end of the season, to be honest.
It is. Dan, for some bizarre reason, Phil Smith, the new non-executive director of Rotherham United, has apparently just appeared in the middle of our stream. I have no idea why. I'm trying to get rid of him. I don't know what that's about. I honestly, Phil, bugger off. There, Phil's gone. Phil's gone. Happy days. Phil has gone.
There we go. We're back.
We'll potentially speak about Phil another day. Certainly tomorrow on Monday Night Millers, which airs at 8 p.m. for KB Terrace Talk. So, Wrexham beat Ipswich 1-0, and a goal from, well, Josh Windass, who is just seems to be a fantastic player at that level in the Championship. And I remember once upon a time he was at Glasgow Rangers and Wigan. Obviously, his dad was Dean, who we were talking about before. His old team before Hull. Apparently, they don't speak. They've not got a great relationship. So, Wrexham on to the next round of the Cup. Now, with Wrexham, Dan, obviously they're fighting to get promoted, as well as Ipswich. Ipswich are certainly in that top two contention. Do you think Ipswich will be too bothered about losing to Wrexham?
No, I mean, no one's going to ever turn down a cup run if you get offered one. But I think for teams who, I mean, Ipswich have a decent sized squad at that level, but their focus is getting automatic and getting Premiership money. Winning an FA Cup and getting your side into the Premier League. One's more amazing for fans, you could argue. But from a club and a business perspective, it's an absolute no-brainer what Ipswich should be trying to achieve at the moment, in my eyes.
Absolutely. And they've still got that parachute money as well. So they were looking to get out of the league. And Wrexham...
Got Dan Neil as well. Hopefully he's doing all right for them.
Yeah. Well, I've not been following them too much, so I'm not too sure. Just going back to the comments. I've got here from George Glory Hole. In 1952/53, Rotherham made the fourth round of the FA Cup by knocking out Newcastle.
Good
3-1. That's the best you've done, Tom. Well, no, I do remember, George. I was at the game actually. Richie Barker flying header. We beat Southampton 2-1, and I think there was an aging Matt Letizia playing for Southampton at the time. So we certainly got through to the fourth round then, I think. George again. Neto does F-all for my FPL, but other FA Cup does amazingly. Typically says. GH with his Google comment there is from King Bush, and then he's put yep, lol. So I'm gonna bring some people. There's people queuing up to get on here, so I'm gonna bring somebody in a minute. Let's go to the FA Cup games from Saturday. And they were Burton 0, West Ham United 1. Now that game went to extra time. And Crescencio Somerville, who, do you know what, might be a shout for you for the FPL, for your FPL team in the minute. Because he keeps popping up with goals here and there. Granted, it was against Burton, but I've noticed he scored quite a few recently. So, listen, West Ham were down to 10 men from the 101st minute. So they scored, and then obviously they held on against Burton at Burton. Now, interestingly enough, that's Rotherham United's next opponents on Tuesday. I know a lot of Rotherham fans are praying for this to go to extra time, which is pathetic. So we have a chance against Burton. So Burton get knocked out by West Ham. Now, probably the tie of the weekend as far as giant killing goes would be Burnley 1, Mansfield 2. And what we'll say about that game is that Burnley were winning 1-0 until the 53rd minute.
And it was at Turf Moor as well.
It was at Turf Moor, exactly. So, look, I think that's a fantastic result for well, it is a fantastic result for Mansfield, knocking out Burnley.
Have you seen the winning goal as well?
I actually have not.
It's a free kick, 80th minute. It's beautiful. It's a great goal. Absolutely brilliant.
It's a good goal. So, listen, Mansfield, once again, I think Burnley are fighting other fires, as it were. They're trying to stay in the Premier League. However, I think they'll be very much unsuccessful in that fight. And Mansfield having a decent season in League One, aren't they? Listen, a cup run, like you said before, Dan, is brilliant. So fair play to Mansfield. Burnley, should they be bothered? If I was their fans, I would be, because I think you're going down. I think Burnley are going down anyway. It's an awful place. And listen, they've been knocked out by a League One team at home.
I think it's the manner of the defeat as well. When you're winning 1-0 against the side 2 divisions below at home. I mean, not that hanging on is going to have any impact or change on their Premier League survival. I think it'll only be a week or two before Scott Parker makes his way onto our thumbnail, I would imagine, because he's under a bit of pressure.
I would completely agree, Dan. Next up, I think they played each other twice in the same week. It was Southampton-Leicester. Southampton come away victors 2-1 on that game. I think Leicester, they're not midweek winning 3-0, and Southampton came back to beat them 4-3. So lightning strikes again, and Southampton put Leicester to the sword. I know that's George's second team, Southampton. That's where he lives. Look, no surprises there. Leicester are now trying to stay in the Championship. Comment from Lee there is, go on Mansfield. He likes a bit of Mansfield. And then I've got Glory Hole Gaming. Burnley need to focus on Prem. FA Cup is not important to them. Now, I would say I think Burnley are down, George, to be honest with you, mate. I think they're gone. So maybe it should have been a bit more important to them. Quick one from our owner. Don't forget to send in your comments to help the show out. Make sure, as always, you like, comment, and share all our posts. So KB Terry's Talk is not just Rotherham United. We've got a variety of shows. We've got the FPL. We've got the Wednesday Premier League show. We've got live after-match reactions. So please send in your comments. Please like, share, subscribe. Help the channel grow. And we are a voice for the fans. From George here, we've got first time in 15 years that a championship team has been 3-0 up and lost, apparently. That's a great stat, George, if that's true. That is a great stat, to be honest with you, mate. Just going through some of the FA Cup results here. Man City 2, Salford City 0, which I'm surprised wasn't a bigger margin, because I remember myself going to watch Rotherham play at the Etihad in 2019, I think it was. No, it was 2018, maybe. Was it 28? Yeah, it was 20. No, it was 2019. My mate Dan will tell me in a minute. We lost 7-0. Norwich 3, West Brom 1. Villa 1, Newcastle United 3. Now, I don't think that was a red card. Dan, with your Sunderland hat on, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm obviously going to say it wasn't a red card. I mean, I've only seen it back on the highlights, but it seemed to be a game plagued by referee decisions. And, are referees capable of refereeing a game without VAR anymore? Are they too lenient on it? How many times do we see referees let offsides run in the Premier League? And
absolutely,
then they've got that safety net of VAR. I mean, I think we'll be in for an interesting time when they do let something run. And then you go get a 21-year-old lad who gets his knee snapped because the game's continued. Gets his career ended. Can he sue the referees? Can he sue the league at that point? I think it's a dangerous game that they're playing.
It's a very good point, Dan. I mean, I personally did not think. I personally don't think it was a red card for a goalkeeper. It wasn't violent conduct. You can argue it's last man-ish, and I suppose the goalkeeper comes out and takes somebody out, then you know what, fair enough. So anyway, Newcastle progress. Liverpool standard victory against Brighton, 3-0, and today's results were as follows. Birmingham 1, Leeds 1. Leeds win on penalties after extra time. Grimsby lost to Wolves, which is a huge cup upset. And you coming on to your team, Oxford 0, Sunderland 1. And see, that was just a penalty as well. How did Oxford play today? Were they all right?
You know what? It was kind of what I expected going into it. They were very robust. They had a lot of energy. Troubled us from a throw-in once or twice. I think we clearly had the better quality, but it's I hate to say this because it's what fans of big teams see, and it really rubs us up the wrong way. It was their cup final. You know, they're playing a Premier League team at home in the 4th round. It's a great opportunity, and we rested a couple. We did have a strong team out. We got the penalty. I never felt as though they were going to equalise, really, if I'm honest. And I did always feel if they went and equalised, we would have had enough to push on and get the winner. But good result, grinded out. I mean, it's actually our first away win since October. So although we had a great season, there's a stat for you. But yeah, it's nice to be in the 5th round. You know, it's stuff dreams are made of, a little cup run.
Well, you know what? You're doing well in the league. What would you prefer? Would you prefer a cup run or a European place?
Oh, that's a great question. So a cup run, what are we justifying as a cup run? Just so I can...
Well, let's just say you're in the final of the FA Cup.
Give me the final of the FA Cup.
And you're a chance of winning it, or you finish 7th in the league.
Well, if we get Europe, let's be realistic, it'll probably be the Conference League. Now, watching Sunderland play in Europe would be amazing. Something I've never done in my lifetime. It would be an absolute dream. But I think the FA Cup is incredibly disrespected. I think it should be one of the biggest jewels in the football season, and I have a chance to see us lift something we haven't lifted since 1973. Give us the FA Cup all day. And if you win it, you get Europe as well as an extra little bonus. So,
well, very true. Yeah, very true. So you're taking the FA Cup final over a guaranteed 7th place finish.
All day. If it was FA Cup final and maybe get relegated, that's a different conversation. But if we stay in the league and get to an FA Cup final, absolutely amazing stuff. We'll take that in a heartbeat.
I think you're staying in the league. There's no worries about that. On to Stoke lost to Fulham 2-1, and Arsenal. I think they were 4-0 up at half time, weren't they?
Arsenal. It wasn't long. They took the foot off.
27 minutes, 4-0 Arsenal, and they must have just kicked it about for the rest of it. So
I think they felt a bit bad.
So that is our roundup of the FA Cup. I'm going to bring in one of my very best friends, actually. He's called Dan as well, Dan. So he's going to have a little chat to us about the FA Cup. My mate Dan is also a Rotherham United supporter and a paramedic. Dan, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Danny boy. You all right?
Evening, Tom. Evening, Dan. You all right, mate?
Evening, Dan. I'm good, mate. Thank you. Yourself?
Good name, mate. Good name, by the way. But it's going to be a bit confusing because I thought you were talking to me earlier. and I'll be brief. He sent us a message saying, nip on for 2 minutes, help me out. And all I saw was Turbo Talk, and I thought, here we go. He's going off by himself here. He's setting up his own podcast. And
no.
and then I realised, he's just dragged me into this. So I'll be straight up and honest with you. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I've just got in from work. I've got a bath ready for me. I've got my tea ready for me. I've only caught little bits of FA Cup, but I will quickly reiterate what you guys have just said. Brilliant. Mansfield deserved that. They got first game on Match of the Day, by the way. I don't know if I can mention them, but well deserved. I don't know if you remember, the best game gets to go on first. And yeah, that was a cracking free kick. I caught some of the Villa Newcastle yesterday, and I thought Villa were unfortunate. I am enjoying watching Aston Villa at the moment. I think people are expecting a bit too much from him at the moment, but Emery's doing he's doing fantastic with him, isn't he? And then I thought Burton were unlucky, and they'll take a lot of positives from that game against West Ham. And I think it's dangerous for Rotherham on Tuesday night, but I know we're sticking to the FA Cup here, so always good to see Brian Clough on telly. He's looking more and more like his dad each day. And like I said, I thought we was going to come and talk about other stuff on a different podcast, like Olympics and Scott Parker's gone. He's gone. He's rubbish.
It's Scott Powell. Danny, quick one though, pal. Right. So obviously, the Burton game went to extra time, mate. Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps or hinders us on Tuesday night?
Are you speaking to me now? Yeah, I'm Danny, mate, and that's Dan. Yeah. Is my name displayed? I've put it as something else. I'm sure I have.
It's right chuffed, I think it is.
Yeah, I'm right chuffed, mate. I'm right chuffed. Right.
Is it not coming up?
It's not. Right. Nah. Like I say, I think there were a lot of positives for Burton there. It's not ideal for him, is it? With short turnaround, but the pressure's on for us. And then it's obviously Donny game after the 6-pointer games, and everybody knows that. It'll make our season, won't it? Next 2 games. I guess we'll know Tuesday night.
I would say so. Now, Danny, knowing you're one of my best mates. I was best man at your wedding. You were best man at mine, right? I know what you're going to say here. This is the last thing we're going to say about Rotherham on this segment. Are you Hampshire in or Hampshire out?
Oh, I like the bloke. If I can say it, and I suppose I'm like everybody else. I've been teetering with it recently. Until he got them wins, and then we lost miserably against Cardiff. He'll be out if he don't get a draw on Tuesday night.
Dan, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, Danny. Cheers for joining us, mate.
I'll let you go and have your bath up at the Millers.
Yeah. If I could just mention, looking forward to the cup draw tomorrow night. I don't know what time it is or if it's going to be on telly. Do you remember when Rod Stewart did the Scottish Cup 5th round draw?
And he was
drunk. Yeah. We want to see something like that again. Oh, and you did ask, by the way, when we went to Man City, it were in January 2019. It were freezing, and our mate Chris, he looked like hot death.
He did. I think did he have his licorice all sauce at that one? I can't remember.
He always had them. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've ever mentioned it here before. When we went to Huddersfield away. He had that little sweet packet, and at half time, security surrounded us, and they went, empty your pockets slowly. They thought he had a grenade. You remember that?
I wasn't at Huddersfield. It was you, Chris and Chinker at that one, mate. I wasn't at Huddersfield.
Oh, were it? Sorry. Oh, I just envisaged you there anyway, mate. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah. Nice to see Phil Smith. You guys seem to know a lot more about what's going off with him than what we do. Is it just a? Oh no, I'm talking Rotherham, aren't I? Now shut up. It's FA Cup. Yeah. Anyway, get rid of me. Nice to be on. Nice to see you, Dan. Take care.
Thanks for joining, Danny, mate. All the best.
Love you, mate.
Love you. See you in a bit. Ta-ra.
Bye.
You knock me off, or do I knock myself off?
I've done it. Right, that's my my good friend Dan. So that's the FA Cup sort of. Do you want to say anything more on the FA Cup there?
No, I think the draw's at Macclesfield tomorrow. For those watching, I know Dan briefly touched on, but yeah, it will be live on TNT about 6:35 apparently.
Lovely stuff. Right, so I'm going to bring my next guest on now. We're going to talk Nottingham Forest sacking Sean Dyche and his men. But first and foremost, I just want to go through some comments before we bring on Forest Phil. Where are we? So George is saying Maxfield versus Brentford should be a good game tomorrow. I won't watch that. Will you watch that, Dan?
Probably just because there'll be nothing else on a Monday night.
Hope
Macclesfield can do it again, but it's about it.
Hang on, Dan. Monday night Millers is on. You can see
Lee
Lee and the boys going ballistic. Me being one of them. Another one from George. I've got here. Oh shit, where are we? Right. Another one from George. No, hang on. No, that's George. If you win the FA Cup, you will have Europe. Remember Europe? Yeah. And Scarlet Rose is saying up the Millers. So next up, I'm going to bring on because it's somebody who'll know a lot more about the situation than we do, Dan. I'm going to bring on one of our top hosts and stalwart of the podcast, Forest Phil, and I'm going to get him to speak to us about all things Nottingham Forest. Phil, first of all, did you agree with the decision to sack Sean Dyche?
Okay, well, first of all, evening, gentlemen. How are we? Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah,
nice to be on a Sunday show. It's been a few weeks,
Indeed.
So nice to show my face back. Okay, so your first question about Mr. Dyche, was it right to get him sacked? Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, there's a double-edged sword to this, okay? The first side of the sword is a big fat hairy no, okay? And the reason behind that is if you actually physically look at the way he has brought the team along, his win rate, and obviously also, you know, the big influence that a lot of his back team staff have brought to the club and the re-energization that he has brought to the club since the Ange Postecoglou era, I feel as though that's going to be massively hit now at the ground. I know probably 40% of the fans of Nottingham Forest that I've spoken to and I've heard from were happy that Dyche had been sacked. The rest were annoyed based on the fact of, is it a little bit trigger happy again? You know, we draw 0-0 to Wolves. For God's sake, we didn't lose, did we? Okay, it was a boring game. Okay, yes, fair enough. 3 shots on goal and they were all at the keeper. The rest of the shots were 80 yards out and skied over the crowd. But at least the effort was there. The want was there. Okay, yeah, the final finish wasn't, but the want was there. The other side of that sword is obviously a lot of the stuff that you hear online. Yeah, I'm hearing that, you know, Dyche overworked the players, doing a 50-hour week. Wow, I wish I did a 50-hour week. Mine's more like 75, 80-hour week, so I don't know where they're getting off. It's almost like the players are acting entitled. I am who I am, and I'm bigger than the manager. And it's almost that double-edged sword of, okay, if that is true, then why somebody like the chairman, you know, who is, let's face it, Dyche's boss, not stepped in and said, listen, I've had these reports from the players that you might be overworking them a little bit. You know, could you consider doing something else in training? Could you consider doing something else with the squad? Does it have to be like this? So it's a kind of double-edged sword with Dyche at the minute. And I don't think he should have gone. I think he should have been given more time. But that double-edged sword of, if all these rumours are true and he is overworking them and they're not match fit when it comes to game day, then, yeah, questions need to be asked. but surely then as a boss of Dyche or Dyche's boss should be stepping in and saying X, Y, and Z. Surely that's how it works. I mean, that's how it works in industry. That's how it works in everyday life. You're not quite hitting the target with your expectations of a boss. Then your boss will step in and say something.
Can I ask you a question, Phil?
Yeah,
Yes,
go on,
Dan.
So I think it's looking like you're getting Vito Pereira till the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it's actually been agreed today. I think it's.
We'll see what happens after that. But on a longer term plan for Nottingham Forest, are you concerned? And I'm not going to ask you to speak bad of Marinakis because I know he's done amazing things, spent the money. But are you concerned that his volatility might put potential managers off taking
Absolutely.
the job?
Absolutely, all day long. I won't. So with Marinakis, I stand as this. What he has done for Nottingham Forest Football Club, what he has done for the community of Nottingham, what he has done to bring that club to where it is now, outshines absolutely everything. However, the man needs to rein it in a little bit because you're going to get to that stage where you're going to end up with any old manager because the world-class ones know that if they come there, they've got to deal with that ego. And that's the problem.
So what I'm going to say there, Phil, right, it's looking very much like, and it's gone disastrous for them in recent years, it's looking very much like the Watford model, isn't it? If you don't perform, you're sacked. End of. They will sack as many people as they possibly can. And do you know what? Trust me, I don't agree with giving. If you're performing poor, right? Like a club that I'm in, that I support,
like Rotherham United, you mean?
yeah, right. I believe that you ultimately should pull the trigger, which I'm sort of envious of somebody like Marinakis or even Spurs that they think, oh, hang on, right, let's get them out of there. But at the same time, they weren't in as much danger as which my team was. So the fear is you're going to end up being like a bit of a Watford. What I will say about Marinakis is he will do anything, and I mean anything, to make sure his team will not get relegated. So I read an article the other day. Is it Silver at Fulham? Who's his other club that he has? Is it Olympiacos? Is it? Or
Yeah, Olympiacos. He's got three. He's got obviously Forest, Olympiacos, and another, and I can't remember what it's called now.
Was Silver not at Olympiacos? Is that not his dream?
No, Pereira was at Olympiacos. So the new manager coming in, Pereira was definitely at Olympiacos. I'm not sure if Silver was.
Did Silver not have something to do with it? I'll double check. But I mean, I think that's who he wants in the long run, if that makes sense.
So my understanding from what I'm reading between the lines, he wants a world-class manager. He wants the big name. That's what he wants. And he wants that big name to be able to take full control of the club so he can step back and focus on his other business ventures. Someone that he can just leave to do it. I think temporarily that's probably why he's brought Pereira in, because obviously he's got the connections to Olympiacos with him. And let's face it, okay, people badmouth Pereira based on his Wolves. You know, he kept Wolves up, but then obviously he put Wolves in the situation that they're currently in. But actually, if you look at Pereira, where he was before, you know, he's been at Flamenco, he's been at Corinthians, he's been at Fenerbahce, he's been at Porto. You know, he was Porto assistant manager, and he won a good couple of trophies with Porto. So, you know, I look at it and I kind of go, just like with everybody, you look at Nuno. Nuno came in and he'd had a bad season in the season previous. You know, Dyche was always hit and miss. You know, Ange Ball was definitely going to be hit and miss anyway. I just feel as though maybe he's thinking, right, well, A, I know Pereira. B, he's done well in the past as a manager. You know, he has been successful in the past as manager, getting trophies. He's been involved in Europa football before. Okay, yes, apart from the Wolves kind of interjection, you know, he's familiar with how the Premier League works. And I think that was kind of where he was going with it. Do I think it's the right signing? Do you know what? This point in the season, probably, yeah. I mean, you know, who knows? Who knows? You know, if you're going to get rid of a manager like Dyche, who do you replace him with in February, for God's sake? You know, where does it leave you? So bringing somebody in who he's worked with before and he knows is the right choice for the current situation.
Right, Phil, so I'm just going to through a couple of comments. George is saying he hopes you're doing well. City Empire in the show tonight. Was Ange there long enough to call it an era? Probably
well,
not.
an era, and essentially an era could be whatever you want it to be. It's not necessary. It was 8 games, 0 wins. In anybody's eyes, in some way, shape, or form, that could be called an era. In our case, a very, very, very short and bad era, but it was an era all the same.
My good friend Dan, who's now in the bathtub, I'm sure, did sometime behind the scenes with Dyche. Was it the usual? He's asked for funds, and the transfer market being shut down, and then fallen out with the owners.
I don't think it's anything to do with that in the slightest. I think the comments that he made in January after the January transfer window were all quite positive. He was quite open, quite positive about the players that came in. I mean, I necessarily wasn't. I think, you know, we should have pushed harder to get Mateta. And if we didn't get Mateta, at least, you know, stick our oar in with the Strand Larsen thing. But we didn't. I think any manager that steps into that role is fully aware that when it comes to transfers, they can ask, they're probably not going to get, because there's a man behind the scenes that's dealing with that, dealing with it very badly. But Marinakis seems to trust him. And yeah.
My final question, Phil, to you is, pal, before we move on, is if West Ham had not had an upturn in form, would Sean Dyche still be in a job?
I think with Marinakis being Marinakis and seeing it how it currently is, I think he would have still got rid of him.
Right.
I really do. I think with Marinakis, it's very much okay. I'm going to get my elite players to come up, and I use inverted commas for elite players. I'm going to get them to come up. We're going to have a meeting, which is quite usual for Marinakis after a match. Brings them up. But in my eyes, and from what the media is saying, I'm not saying it's true in the slightest because I do not know, but in my eyes, from what the media have been saying, I completely and utterly, A, blame the players for that Wolves game, and B, blame the players for Sean Dyche being sacked.
Quick one from George here. Considering how bad Forest are doing at the minute, what manager would you want to join now? To be fair, so
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm looking at where Vitor Pereira is in his career. Yeah, he's 57 odd. Okay, looking at where he is in his career, what he's done from his originating being a manager to current day. You know, everybody goes off Wolves. Everybody goes off what he did at Wolves, and actually, if you look prior to that and what he's done prior to that, I think somebody so late in the day, so late in the league to come in, you've got to give this man time now. You've got to give him time to play the rest of the season out and just face whatever we get. If we stay up, fantastic. If we go down, absolute disaster. But at least we then know whether this person either short term or long term, is the right manager. What I just don't want to get is another 6 or 7 games down the line and him decide to pull the plug again. That's my biggest concern. You pull the plug again, and you're just an absolute, and I'm going to say it, we're probably going to get told off for this, but bell end.
So, Phil, last question again, unless Darren wants to ask you something. Do Nottingham Forest stay up this season? I know Lee has said he tipped Forest at the start of the season to get relegated. What are your thoughts? Are you going to get relegated?
Simple answer, no. Absolutely not. What you've got to look at is how many games are left. There's
about 12?
12 games left.
12,
okay.
13, yeah.
When a new manager comes in, you have teams tend to have a good 4 or 5 games really impressing that manager before the manager settles in properly and things settle down a little bit. So if from our next 4 games we manage to win 2 of those, let's say for instance, 2 of those games, all right, and we managed to draw the other 2, we didn't lose them. Okay, so 2 wins, 2 draws. So that's 8 points. Okay, 8 points from the next 4 games under that manager, and then you've got another 8 games left. You managed to pick up another, I don't know, a draw a game. You're well within that remit of that magic 40 points, aren't you? We're well there. So from my perspective, I say no. My bottom 3 going down, definitely 100% Wolves. GH, you've got no chance of getting them out of relegation. Definitely Burnley. I think that hit with the FA Cup with Mansfield is gonna really play on their mind for a good few game weeks now. And I'm sticking with my initial one that I came out with a few weeks back. I'm going with Crystal Palace, and I actually think that Leeds and Forest will finish a little bit higher, more like 13th and 14th. And down there will be, I'm sorry, Lukey, because I know he's sat in the lobby, but Spurs are going to be down there. I don't think they're going to get relegated, but I do think Crystal Palace will drop into that 17th spot. 16th, 18th spot, sorry, should I say. I think Forest will be safe. 13th, that's where I'm going with, 13th.
Phil, thank you so much.
Nice one,
Phil.
Apart from up the Reds, we got Fenerbahce on Thursday, which is great for Pereira because obviously he's managed Fenerbahce before, so he'll know how they're playing. And then we've got a big game against some bin dipper team, I think it is, at the weekend. So yeah, all happy.
Last one from the City Empire. I think Forest should sign Big Sam. So
he's too old. He's past it now.
Well, do you know what? Warnock would do a job. Phil, thank you for your input this evening, and I hope everything goes well for the rest of the season. Hopefully, see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Have a great show.
Phil presents the Premier League show on Wednesday now, which is at 8 o'clock. Phil, is that correct?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right. Cheers,
no, Bushy. Just with all the comments coming in, Bushy, I will never admit that you're right, mate. So, yeah.
I'll show that now. For Phil, was Bushy right all along? As he predicted that Forest would go down and both managers would be sacked. So, yeah, you know what? We'll see what happens.
I'd never admit it, Bushy, and I still won't admit it even if we do go down. So, yeah.
And one last one from George. 13th when he said 7th to begin
Absolutely. With. And GH, you said Liverpool were going to win the season two times on the bounce. So, you know, go back to your bin dipping ways, mate.
Okay. Cheers, Phil.
On that note.
See you later, boys.
Later, Phil.
Cheers. Okay. That's Phil gone, Dan. Dan, any thoughts on the Forest situation, my friend?
I think it's a great deal for Vitor Pereira because he's probably getting a nice few million in the bank. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't keep them up, he probably just gets to go and enjoy his summer. If he does keep them up, he probably gets an opportunity to manage another Premier League club and bank a few more million.
Yeah.
I think they got rid of Nuno way too quick, if I'm honest. I should have asked this to Phil, but I was just listening to what he's saying. I'm sure a lot of Forest fans are taken back on a heartbeat. And football has a funny way of biting you in the backside because he could be the one to potentially relegate Forest, depending on how it plays out.
Well, on that, or Spurs, and he's managed both of those clubs. So, obviously, he was manager of Spurs, wasn't he? He got manager of the month and then got sacked by Daniel Levy and his mates. And obviously, Forest. So, do you know what? I think one of either Forest or Spurs drops, personally. Now, we're going to move on and we're going to talk about... actually, you know what? I'm going to bring a guy in here. I'm going to bring in Luke, and he wants to talk
Feels
about...
like an appropriate time, doesn't it?
It does.
So,
I want to bring in Luke, who says he's definitely not talking about Tottenham Hotspur, because he went to watch, was it Dorking Wanderers at the weekend? So let's bring him in anyway. Luke!
Got the kit on and everything.
Hello, Luke. You okay, mate?
Has it been that bad a week you've switched teams, Luke?
On my local side, they're a 5-minute drive away. When I get a free Saturday, I choose to watch Dorking Wanderers.
Fair play.
Like, generally,
supporting local
support your
teams,
local, 18 quid a ticket, happy days. Like, support your local.
So Luke, my geography is absolutely shocking. Whereabouts is Dorking?
So that is slap bang in Surrey. Like, it's sort of like a quietish town in Surrey.
Is it nice? Is it a nice place?
Yeah, it's quite a nice place. It's more sort of associated with like antique shops these days than anything else. But yeah, it's quite sort of a nice and quiet. It was a part of the Olympic cycle route back in 2012. That's something we had.
Was it really? Right.
Yeah, it was where the cycle route was.
So what's the nearest major city or town to Dorking?
I'd say probably somewhere like Guildford.
Guildford, right? Yeah, Guildford.
Guildford's probably the closest major city.
So do you know what? You say they play in is it the non-league South? I'm assuming
National League South. Yeah.
National League South, as it were.
They've got their YouTube documentary, haven't they? With,
we do. We've got a bunch of amateurs. BOA.
It's good watch if anyone out there after you've watched KB Towers talk shows. Check out a bunch of amateurs.
Sorry, go on, Dan. Say that again, pal. I didn't catch that. What was that?
Bunch of amateurs. The manager's quite an outspoken fella, isn't he? He's
documentary that follows. Swears and owns them.
Yeah, that's the Wanderers. That's the mighty Wanderers. Mark White.
Then. Do you know what? Is that a documentary? Is that on YouTube? Is it on TNT?
I've just seen a few episodes on YouTube here and there. Like, I haven't sat and watched every one, but they're quite an entertaining watch on a night.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, this game that I went to watch, by the way, is going to be an entertaining watch. Scoreline was 5-3.
5-3. To Dorking?
5 to the mighty Wanderers. It puts us top of the league. So we're 2 points clear of Torquay. I believe it's Hornchurch. Hornchurch are 3 points back with a game in hand, but as it stands, we are top of the league. And it was a hell of a game, this game. We went 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes, struggled, sort of bit slow starting, but the goals in this game were a volley from the edge of the box, a nice touch and finish, and then a volley on the turn in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the first 3 goals. Like, it got a bit scrappy. I think even at one point, one of the Farnborough fans, I'm going to have to watch the documentary and stuff like this to see what happened because it was down the other end. But the play was stopped because something happened with one of the fans. I think rumours were they threw a pint at one of the players. Yeah. So, they took players to the side for a little bit. But
I'll tell you what, Luke, I'm all for lower leagues and certainly non-league because I think things happen in the lower leagues and certainly in non-league that would never happen in certainly in the top flight. Just saying that there. A couple of comments, Luke. I just want to put you to. Bushy says, "Get this caller off. Spurs will finish above Forest." I think he's on about Phil there. John Sullivan's back with us. Here to show off my official sub, the official first subber to the channel. Hello, lads. I'm not sure that means
very
John.
much, John.
City Empire. Not gonna lie, I thought that was a Palace kit, Luke.
Yeah, no, it's an old. It's I think 2 years ago the away kit. So normally Dorking Wanderers are known for wearing red and white, like stripes,
Right.
sort of like Sunderland,
Good colours. Good
in a
colours.
style of kit.
Yeah.
But I think a hint of blue around the collar. I think, or there's a little bit of hint of blue on there, but it's mostly red and white stripes.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, I'll let you.
And Phil Hake saying, great show, boys. Great to be part of it. Come on, you Reds. And then John Sullivan has put, Spurs are shy, love the tune. So, great win for Dorking.
Mhm.
However, Luke, my friend, a team that you kind of follow has sacked their manager. Would you care to share any thoughts on this whatsoever?
Yeah, I can retrace some steps from the other night. On the Wednesday show, I covered how I thought that it was long overdue and how it should have been done in January, so we could have at least had room to do transfers for a new manager, actually give us some time to get in a new manager. And it was a baffling decision on that front. But I mean, the man we brought in, I don't know too much about him, if I'm being honest. I believe it's Tudor, is his name.
You got
he's
Tudor,
a similar ranking in
ex-Juventus
Italy.
manager, yeah.
Ex-Juventus, ex-Lazio, ex-Marseille. I think at Lazio and Juve, when he was an interim, he got 3 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss, or something like that in both teams. That would be enough to keep us up at the moment. So I'd be more than happy with that as a return. And hopefully it's a stopgap to bring Poch back post-World Cup, but sort of we'll see what happens as it goes.
That's my thoughts, Luke. I'm thinking because the maniacs in America believe that USA have a chance of winning the World Cup. Sorry, that's never going to happen. You've got as much chance of winning the World Cup as England have got winning the World Cup.
But they've got the LeBron James of soccer.
Indeed, they have. Is it Pulisic, isn't it? It's Pulisic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the LeBron James of soccer right there.
He's the LeBron James of soccer. Come on, Christian Pulisic. Yeah, let's go. America. Fuck yeah. Right, but anyway. I mean, Pochettino, I think, is who they want back. And I think Daniel Levy, I'm not too sure, Luke, is he not wanting to sell his shares in the club? As things stand, I don't know how true that is. Such a basket case club, Tottenham Hotspur. You know, they've got one of the best stadiums in the world. They put on events. You know what? They won the Europa last season, which, you know what? Fair play to them. And then they're still in the knockouts for the Champions League, aren't they?
Fully qualified, yeah.
However, they are languishing at the bottom, near the bottom of the Premier League. First question to you, Luke, is do you think you will stay up?
My answer changed when Sesko scored. I was, and Dan can vouch for this, in the group chat was putting we're favourites to go down.
Yep.
That was an exact quote. Was when that's happening, we are the team in the worst form, no wins in 2026 outside of Europe. It's not good, really. It's something that needed to be addressed. And I think that also we should have played the youth more. I find it funny now that the youth, Luca Williams-Barnett, the one that should have been getting minutes, has already been found liking tweets about anti-Frank stuff after he's been sacked. And I don't blame him. He's been in great form in the Spurs 2 side and the Premier League 2 and not been called up. He's sat on the bench a couple of times. And we got disinterested people like Kolo Muani playing. So,
why, Luke, do you think Spurs get it wrong all the time?
So, not to put too much on injuries, but that is a big part of it. Like Kulusevski and Maddison being key sparks of creativity, and we've been missing them the entire season. Heck, Maddison's probably not going to play this season. Kulusevski's touch and go every week in terms of, I think he's waiting for someone to medically clear him, but it's not happened yet. So I heard something about him wanting to hit specific goals and he's not hitting them, so he's not available. It's honestly, I described it on Wednesday as Frank's methods were trying to be too perfect. What they were doing was he wanted to work a perfect goal week in, week out.
1 second, lads.
Okay. It was essentially he wanted to work perfect goals to the byline, tap-ins. There was a quote of him at one point saying, "The crowd are telling you to shoot. I implore you to ignore them and work to try and get the ball as close as possible to guarantee a goal."
Right.
Stuff like that is what absolutely makes things too rigid. And you're not having enough shots. You're not threatening enough. You're trying to be too organized, and it then causes a lack of creativity.
It does. And look, I mean, Spurs are a massive club. And listen, I'm sure you'll be okay. I was going to put this out here from Bushy. If you fancy coming on the show to talk about your team, please click the link. Also, I've got some more comments there. Where are we? I apologise. It's coming. There we go. Great that Luke goes and supports his local team. So, look, well in Dorking, and hopefully you get promoted to the National League, which is incredibly well. I wouldn't say it's competitive this season. I think is it York and is it Rochdale maybe? Who are absolutely running away with
York's
it.
up there.
Yeah, I think only one team gets promoted automatically, and the rest is via the playoffs. Luke, have you got anything else to add? Would you like to say anything more about Dorking or even Spurs?
Well, it's mostly wanting to come on and talk about Dorking, really.
You have done, and that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Like the thing is, like it's such a tight race at the moment at the top of that league. If you look at the National League South, you've got Dorking have next up Hornchurch. You've got the game in hand. We lose that game, they're top with a game in hand. If we win this game, we're suddenly clear of them by 3 points when everything's said and done. We had a game postponed against Torquay the other week, which is away, having, I believe, drawn with them at home. So it's all up for grabs. A lot of teams are winning this week. I think 50. Let me just double check the table. We're on 59 and playoff spots. The bottom playoff spot's 52. So it is all to play for with roughly 30 games played. Only one automatic promotion slot. Second through seventh get playoffs. So when we got promoted, we came second in the league previously. We were in there for 2 years. First year, 3 years. We were in the COVID year. We were winning the league, and then it got written off. So we were going to get automatic promotion, and that cancelled promotion. And then we ended up getting in second playoff spot, or first playoff spot, second in the league, which got us a bye to the next round. And eventually we won with a last-minute winner. Last-minute equaliser at home in the playoffs before winning it in extra time. Like, it was dramatic as all hell. Like,
so obviously, look, I hope Dorking do the business for you, Luke. So just to confirm, it's 2 from the south and 2 from the north that get promoted to the National League, as it were.
That is correct, yes. So there's the automatic one from both sides, and then a playoff from one of the teams from second through seventh.
Just a quick one as well, Luke. Is there any? I don't know how true this is, but I'm sure I've seen it on a podcast. Is it the National League or League Two where you have to have coaching badges? Because I'm sure I've seen your manager saying if you do get promoted, his job could be in jeopardy as he isn't officially a UEFA coach.
That is League Two. So he's
League
managed
Two,
in the National League for a couple of years. We survived the first year. Second year, we did go down. And that was our first ever career relegation as a club because we were only founded in 1999. So it's a young club. We've flown up through the divisions. But yeah, so it would be if you got promoted to actual league football, we'd need to hire a manager. He'd probably pull the strings and it'd just be a puppet. But
do you think you just get a puppet in and someone to
Yeah.
go around and watch football for free, basically, and get paid?
pretty much. Because it's obviously he's chairman and manager, so he fully runs the operation himself, fully.
Because I think I've seen that interview with him where he's saying, "I'll never go and get these badges or whatever." You know,
So why do I need these badges to prove I'm a great manager?
Exactly. And you know what? I completely agree with him. That is a money-making scheme made up by the Football Association or whoever. You must have these badges. It's not like a doctor doing surgery or a lawyer passing the bar to become a lawyer. You have to know A, B, and C. You coach in football, the eyes don't lie. Do you know what I mean? It is the way it is. And I think, obviously, you know, I've looked into doing my badges in the past, and it costs money. And I mean, players at the top of their game, it costs them money, but they can afford it. So anybody grassroots, really, you know, who don't have that money, who don't have that time to go away and train to become past these badges. And I do wonder if when people do pass these badges, right, does their football ethos mentality even change? And it's just a box ticking exercise. But listen, it is what it is. So up the Dorking. I'll be following Dorking now.
Up the Wanderers.
I'll keep an eye on them, Luke Pal. I'll keep an eye on you. Played, was it Torquay you were saying?
No, that was the game that we called off. We played Farnborough this week. We beat Farnborough 5-3. I'll say the referee had a great game. It felt refreshing to watch a ref actually let strong challenges go and let the game flow. You're so used to everything being broken up every few minutes. Ref had a great game. Like, there's one or two things you go, oh, that's a foul. But he was consistent with it. So felt good to see a consistent ref. You wouldn't expect it at that level. You'd expect a referee to be possibly further up with that level of consistency. But I can say referee had a great game.
Well, there's the first. We can say the ref has had a good game. Luke, would you like to stick around for the Thomas Tuchel chat, or are you off to have some scram?
I have to. Unfortunately, I have to shoot off straight away. I pretty much had to probably leave 2 minutes ago.
No, mate, that's absolutely fine. It is 8 o'clock. Really appreciate your input. And look, thanks for coming on talking about Dorking and begrudgingly talking about Tottenham Hotspur. So,
no sweat, mate. No sweat.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for your support. And
cheers, Luke.
Share this to the Dorking lads. I'm sure they'll love it. Ish.
Will do. All right.
Cheers,
take care, lads.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, man.
Nice one.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, that leaves me and you, Dan boy. There's nobody queuing
I
in.
enjoyed that Dorking chat. I wasn't expecting that this evening.
Honestly, mate, right, you know me. I mean, obviously you support a Premier League team, but I mean, listen, we were in the same league for a season once, and we got out, and you didn't.
Not too long ago, we were in the doldrums of League One, mate. I remember that league very well.
Yes, I remember.
Hard to get out of.
I remember was it the 4 or 5-0 that we did? Yeah, I can't remember.
5-1, I think. Bushy likes to remind us quite regularly.
I was there. I'm just going to go through a couple of comments, and then we're literally to the last 5 minutes of the show, guys. So I'm just going to go through a couple of comments. Where are we? Got John Sullivan. Beat by the better team. I mean, as I said to you privately, must wins for both teams. We just nicked it. Not sure what that means. My man Dan, England will win the World Cup and inadvertently start World War III. Certainly in my neck of the woods, because for those that don't know, I live in Scotland. John Sullivan, also I'm going to say it, missing Bruno worries me for the derby at Toon. Big miss, however. Tonali showed up versus Villa. Anything on that, Dan? Do you watch Newcastle games or?
When I think they might get beat, yes. I mean, Bruno Guimaraes, it will be interesting to see how they get on without him. He's a brilliant player. I've seen reports of up to 8 weeks, but I don't know how legitimate that is because I don't go out my way to follow the news. I'm not going to worry about the derby next month yet because I'm not too confident away from home, but we do have a funny thing where we tend to beat Newcastle, and if we do, I'm not sorry, John. 10 weeks, according to John in the comments there. He's going to be a miss. That's going to be a real difficult end of the season for Newcastle without Bruno Guimaraes. Oh, I think your volume may have went there, Tom.
So, cheers, man. I'm back. My man Dan, I said Dorking FC are a bunch of cocks, apparently. Well, Danny, I don't know, mate. Maybe are. And John Sullivan has put he's out for 10 weeks, Dan. So, moving on. Right, so Thomas Tuchel has signed a 2-year contract extension this week, taking him through to the 2028 Euros here in the United Kingdom. Now, Dan, I want your thoughts on this one because I think it was certainly brought through that he was just here to manage us for a World Cup, and he's beaten some absolute minnows. And yeah, people are saying he's got a style of play. What are your thoughts on that, mate? 2-year contract extension for the World Cup.
I'm a little bit on the fence with it because I do think Tuchel is a very good manager, which is the only saving grace I will allow the FA in this decision-making process. Because I do think he's great. I don't know if it's been the fact that managers are losing the job in the Premier League. They've got scared all of a sudden and wanted to tie him down to a longer deal. But Tuchel was brought in to win the World Cup. We qualified for everything under Southgate. Southgate would fall at the final stage. We would be in the same position now if we had Southgate as we had Tuchel heading into this tournament. We'd have still qualified. And it just seems like they've jumped the gun and went very early. Now, as I see it, if this was anyone else, I would be strongly criticising the FA, but I do really rate Thomas Tuchel as a manager. But I just find it a little bit bizarre. I don't know about you. I just think it's a strange decision.
So my thoughts are very much the same. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to Manchester United sacking Ruben Amorim, to be honest with you, because I think the FA are trying to protect themselves and probably potentially make money in that sense. Because, listen, yeah, Tuchel is a top-class manager. You know, he's best in class for what we can attract as a national team. Yeah, we've sailed through qualifying. We always do.
We could have Stevie Wonder in charge. It wouldn't.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
I mean, we could have, you know, my daughter in charge.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, we'd still get through. So the decision to give him a 2-year contract extension beyond the World Cup, I think is very odd because Tuchel, I mean, he managed what does he do? 7 games a year? Is it 7 games a year that he probably manages?
It's around that, yeah.
Hi, and he's on He's probably on a millions pounds contract. So my theory is that somebody within, you know, the board and the chiefs of England have thought, Manchester United, they've sacked their manager. They've got an interim in Michael Carrick, who I don't think will get the job permanently at Manchester United. I genuinely don't. Even if he gets them top 4, they're not going to make the same mistake they made with Solskjaer. In my opinion, they're going to want a world-class manager, no nonsense kind of manager, and I think he fits the bill. So I think that's probably potentially why, Dan, they've extended his contract. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Tuchel's contract extension. Next question to ask you, Dan. Are England going to win the World Cup?
No.
Who's your favourites? Spain.
Yeah. I mean, it's boring, isn't it? But Look, I don't think it'll be Tuchel's fault that we don't win the World Cup. I just think there are sides. I think for England to win, we would have to overachieve slightly. I think national team were probably top 3, top 4. I don't think
Yeah.
we're the best.
No.
So for us to win a World Cup, we would have to beat one, potentially two of them teams that I think are better. Probably, unless you get all sorts of chaos. We'll be playing it in conditions that will suit them teams more.
So the South Americans, yeah, and absolutely the Spanish, for example.
You know, they're going to be more adept to the climate.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be a complete failure. I mean, for me, the one that sticks out was losing to Italy in that final. We should have won that one.
Yeah, we should have done. Yeah.
The other
I
one,
think
Southgate lost.
if we had the Tuchel in that Italy final, we would have won it.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I think. So,
but I think what will be interesting is, and not that I want this to happen, I want England to win the World Cup. I mean, I'd much rather Sunderland win the FA Cup. I'm club before country, but
really,
I still want England to do well. But if we get done off a minnow in the last 16, all of a sudden this looks really bad on the FA.
It does, doesn't it? And that's
it's a risk.
That is the risk, isn't it? Why have they not just said 4 years? No, not 4 years. World Cup. We'll review the contracts afterwards. Now, I was going to put one up here from Bushy. Give me a second. Bushy's put, worried about Man U job, so tie him down and make it more difficult. So yeah, that's what I was alluding to before. Just a quick clear up one from my mate Danny. He's put, sorry, that Dorking FC comment was a bit tongue in cheek. Dorking FC's badge is a massive cockerel, and I just wondered if they were called cocks. Fair enough, mate.
Maybe that's the Spursy Luke link. Spurs have a cockerel, Dork and have a cockerel. Maybe he's got a thing.
They do. George is here. England always bottle it. Won't be the manager's fault if we don't win. Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, listen, to win tournament football is exceptionally hard. It's usually the problem you've got with international football, right, is that you put a group of players together that don't play together every week. So I'll put this out now, right? And this is you can clip this, Bushy, if you're watching, right? Gives the mid-table team, Dan. Give me a mid-table team.
Sunderland. We'll punch him. We'll be mid-table now.
Sunderland, right? Sunderland, if they were to enter the World Cup, right, would get to the latter stages. Because, and bear with me here, right, they're drilled. They play with each other every single week. They know where the players are going to be, who they need to hit, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying they'd win the World Cup, but they would certainly get very far, right?
Yep.
You look at Brazil, Argentina, England, Spain, you name it, right? These players don't play with each other every week. So do you know when we talk about a new season, it takes players time to gel and all that sort of stuff, right? Tournament football is incredibly difficult, right? And it's the team that gels best that usually wins it in the end.
Well, that's why that Spain side in the early 2010s was so successful, because 8 or 9 of them players played for Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
They all knew the midfield, Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, they knew each other in and out.
Exactly.
You fixed half of the problem straight away.
Exactly. So, I mean, you look at the England team, you've got Pickford in goal, John Stones, Mark Guehi, right back will probably be Reece James. Left back's going to be fucking Luke Shaw or somebody like that.
Probably, I play Lewis Hall, although he does play for Newcastle.
Hall, yeah.
The young lad,
your midfield's going to be, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. Who's your 3? Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. Who was the third? Who was the third? Who was the third?
I mean, I don't know if you can play Jude and Morgan Rogers in the same team, but it almost feel like a crime not to have Morgan Rogers in that squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think Morgan Rogers.
There's some big decisions for the England manager.
Massively.
To make
I mean,
some big decisions.
Cole Palmer, Harry Kane, Saka, you name it. Like
Foden, Bellingham, you're going to have to drop some of them.
It's absolutely everywhere. So,
but Tuchel is a big enough personality to make them decisions, I think.
Well,
I don't think Southgate was. I think Tuchel will do what he thinks is best.
Absolutely. So, look, I mean, I can only assume, as we just said before, Dan, mate, that Tuchel's been given a 2-year contract extension because he'd be stupid not to sign it, right? In case a big boy comes knocking.
Claim some compensation if he does go.
Dan's just come back in. I just checked. Dogan FC's fans are nicknamed Wanderers, but I reckon they should be known as the Cock Dorks. And I mean that without prejudice and honest, sincere love. Fair enough, Danny. Bye. England always bottle it. Won't be them. Oh, yeah, I've done that one before. Curtis Jones. Lol. Right. Yeah, lol. So listen, right. That's the end of our show tonight, guys. Look, this was the first show of the new format, as it were. So thanks for anybody that's commented. Come on, all the guests that we've had tonight. And look, we can only grow from here. It's been a bit of a quiet week for football because, you know, it's been FA Cup. There's been not much Football League action. Certainly, there's been no Premier League action. But I want to thank Dan, Dan that way, for joining me tonight and the first of hopefully what will be many good shows. And look, Dan, anything else you want to say, pal?
If you do want to come and have a chat with Turbo and maybe me, maybe who else we don't know in the future, subscribe and you'll get a notification. The link goes out a little bit in advance so you can come on and have a chat with us on a Sunday evening.
Lovely. Like I say, so tomorrow will be quite a heated show, actually. It's Miller's Monday tomorrow, which I'll be part of because sadly for me, I support Rotherham United. So Miller's Monday tomorrow will be all the fallout from the Phil Smith interview who appeared randomly at the start of our show, bizarrely. So Miller's Monday tomorrow, 8:00, hosted by King Bush. Wednesday will be the Premier League show, which you're a part of, aren't you, Dan?
Yeah, we have a bit of a rolling cast, but I can regularly be on that one, hosted by Forest fan Phil, who you might have seen a bit earlier in the show.
You did. So this is the first show me and Dan have actually been on together. I've often commented on his show, so, well, him being part of said show. And then Mers hosts the Fantasy Premier League show. Not too sure what, because the game weeks keep changing, so that's usually on a Friday. And then on Saturday, probably a bit earlier than normal, we're going to have the after-match reaction from Rotherham United versus Doncaster Rovers. And God knows what's going to happen there. And then back to Sunday, it'll be back to me. Also, there's one other show I'll need to confirm with Bushy. Tuesday night, there's probably going to be a live match reaction to Burton Albion versus Rotherham United. Wow, what content we give you.
Nearly something every night of the week, and we don't even get paid, so the least you can do is subscribe.
The least you can do is subscribe. Dan there, Oliver, says, finally, Olympics. Yep, the snowboarding and shit. And George says, great show, lads. So for myself, I'm Turbo Tom. On behalf of KB Terry Stock, I've been joined tonight by a good man called Dan, who is a Mackham. Up the Mackhams,
Certainly
up
am.
the Millers,
Up the Mackhams.
all the best, guys. Thank you.